Welcome to Nuke's Fitness Podcast. My name is Manouk Vink, and after having struggled with my body image and my fitness journey for more than 10 years, leading me to all sorts of extremes, I have now finally cracked the code on how you can achieve a fit and toned physique without extremes and restrictions. Now, being a certified nutritionist and personal trainer, I have made it my mission to help women achieve their body goals by feeling empowered through fitness instead of being afraid of foods and being controlled by the fitness industry. In this podcast, I will be sharing with you tried and true methods on how you can finally achieve your dream body and tell you the secrets most coaches won't. So if you are tired of working your ass off without getting results, or you feel like you're putting in all the work but not seeing change in the mirror, this podcast is for you. I will be dropping some fitness truth bombs so you can start taking control of your body goals while still enjoying life. Thank you so much for listening and enjoy the show. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to another episode of Nuke's Fitness Podcast. I'm so excited to have you here. And I know in the past 2 weeks, we've had some amazing guests on the podcast, but today you're just going to have to do with little old me. And that's all right, because we're going to be diving into a very interesting topic today, and something that I'm sure you've Googled in the past before, or you are dying to know the answer to, and that is, what exercises are the best exercises to tone up and to lose the stubborn fat? And you might be a little surprised at the answer, maybe disappointed, but maybe also relieved. And I'm sure, we've all been there, frantically searching for what exercises will give you the dream body that you've always been looking for. Looking in magazines, or, well, that was in my case at least, or Googling or searching on TikTok or Instagram, or looking at what your inspiration is doing to get the body that she has. And, nowadays there's so much information out there that it gets so confusing. Like, where do you begin? Some people say that yoga is the best exercise to tone up and lose fat. Others are saying Pilates is the one. Then other people are saying, no, you just need to do this one exercise or follow this one diet and you'll finally get the body of your dreams. And unfortunately, that is not how it works. There is not one exercise that is going to give you the toned dream body that you've always been looking for. There's not one specific thing that you should be doing exactly like that to get the body of your dreams. However, there is a combination of things that you can be doing to finally get that sculpted look and finally lose that stubborn fat. And it's not one magical exercise or one magical method. It's actually very, very simple. All you need to do to finally tone up and lose the stubborn fat is follow a structured strength training regime. There is no one exercise that is going to target one part of your body that is going to allow that part of your body to lose fat. So let me give you an example. I remember when I first started out in the gym, I would go to machines, and you know how on those machines they have like a little description or a little image of what that machine is for, so what muscles that machine targets. I would assume that because it was targeting that muscle, that is the part of the body that would lose fat or would slim down. And unfortunately, that's not true. And I later came to realize that that's not a thing. You can't pick one part of your body and decide that you want to lose fat there or tone up there. That's not how it works. What you can do, though, is make sure that you gain muscle in certain parts of your body. And when you gain muscle in those parts of your body, you will get a more toned, sculpted look. So fat loss is something that happens overall. It's not something that you can target. So I'm sure you know this, where you're working out or you're following a diet and you're getting results, you're losing weight or you're losing fat. And a lot of the time, this starts with one part of the body. So for me, my face and my upper body start losing fat first before any other part of my body. And that's not because I'm doing face exercises or upper body exercises that are making me lose fat in that part of my body. No, it's just that that's where my body loses fat first, and that is personal to everybody. So let's get clear on one thing. When we're talking about the exercises that will get you to lose fat and to tone up, you can't specifically choose a certain part of your body to lose fat, but you can choose a specific part of your body to tone up. And that's because toning exercises are not really a thing. You actually only have exercises that build muscle. Because the only thing that being toned is actually having more muscle and less fat in that area. So if you want to tone your body and you want to tone certain body parts, what you need to do is you need to build muscle in that body part, and you need to lose fat in that body part. So as you can imagine, if you're looking for the best exercises to lose fat and to tone up, it's always going to be strength training. And the reason for that is because when you do strength training exercises, so you want to tone your upper body, for example, your arms, you will have to train your arms and do strength training exercises for your arms to get that toned look. Because you won't get a toned look if you're not training that muscle. Without training that muscle, you won't get the definition or the lines in that muscle. But then you may ask, okay, but Manouk, what if I become bulky if I train that part of my body? So first of all, becoming bulky only really happens when you set out to become bulky. It's very difficult for a woman to become bulky. And then second of all, the only reason it might look bulky is because there is still excess fat on that body part. If you ever look on my Instagram, or if you've ever seen any video of me in my bodybuilding competition, I was training extremely heavy weights there, and I was following a very low calorie diet. I don't recommend that, but I just want to use it as a reference. So because of that, what happened is, even though I was training very heavy weights, I lost fat all over my body. This took a very long time, but I lost fat all over my body. And because I trained my muscles and I lost fat, I got a toned look, a toned physique. I didn't do special toning exercises. I didn't do special Pilates or yoga or whatever you name it, or one special exercise that is going to tone up my body. No, I followed a structured strength training regime that targeted all of my muscles so that all of my muscles would become more defined. And then on top of that, I made sure that I was in a calorie deficit. So I ate less than that I was burning, and I made sure that I was eating enough protein so that my muscles were maintained while I lost fat. And when I lost body fat, I tried to maintain my muscle so that I could achieve that toned physique. So unfortunately, there's not one magical exercise that is going to tone your body and make you lose fat. There is not a magical wall Pilates routine that is going to make you lose fat and tone up. It's a combination of the right strength training regime and the right diet for you, or nutritional plan for you. I don't like the word diet. That will get you the results that you are after. And it doesn't need to be as difficult or as confusing as you may think, because we all think it has to be this difficult journey and this hard obstacle course that you need to follow to get to achieve those results. And through my journey in the fitness industry, I've realized that doing it the hard way is not better for you. It's actually more detrimental for you. And what you need to understand is that you can very easily start achieving your body goals by just training 3 to 4 times a week, strength training 3 to 4 times a week, and then on top of that, making sure you're getting enough proteins in and your diet is on point depending on your specific goal. So if you're wanting to tone up and you want to lose fat, so you want to get that defined look, what you need to focus on is make sure that you have a structured workout routine. Don't change it up every week. don't do different exercises every time you go to the gym. You want to progressively overload all of your exercises. You want to make sure that you're challenging yourself in the same exercises or the same workout routine until your goals change or until you plateau. So what that means is that you follow a structured strength training regime depending on your specific body goals. So if, for example, you want more toned legs, that doesn't mean you steer clear of leg exercises. That actually means you should be training your legs. You should be training your legs, and you should be making sure that you're losing body fat so that you get that toned, defined look. The only reason that I have lines in my legs now is because I train them. Without muscle, you're not going to get the defined look. So the main answer to the question, what is the best exercise to lose, or what are the best exercises to lose fat and to tone up or to build muscle and lose fat, basically, they're going to be strength training exercises. They're going to be strength training exercises. And that has to be done in a way that is specific to your body goals. And that's how you're going to get the best results. So I want to make this clear because we keep, there's always something new coming out, something more exciting like high rocks training or CrossFit or, now I see these wall Pilates and reformer Pilates, and I don't have anything against them because they all have a purpose for different purpose. Like I'd love to do Pilates, but maybe not specifically to reach my body goals, but to get more flexible, to train my body in a different way. The high rocks training, or whatever it's called, high rocks, I think it's like the hybrid training. That's a new way to do cardio and strength training together. And then CrossFit again. All of these things will get you some sort of results. But if you want to get the best results and you don't feel like you want to try out all these crazy things, then basically what you need to do is you just need a tailored plan specific to your specific goals. And what you base that plan on is on where you want to tone up your muscles and what you want to work on. So if you want to build your glutes, then you need to make sure that you're consistently training your glutes. If you want your arms to be toned, then you need to make sure that you've got a right program to train your arms without them becoming overly bulky, and making sure that you are in a caloric deficit so that you get that toned, sculpted look, and make sure that you're getting enough proteins in so that you get that sculpted look. And I think we make it so much more complicated than it needs to be. And I remember always wanting to have the answers to these questions. There must be one thing that's going to get me the goal that I want. So for example, I even believed, like there's still this belief that if you do more reps with lower weights, that's going to tone your body. Unfortunately, that has also been debunked. More reps with less weight isn't necessarily going to tone your body. The more reps you do, the more it's going to be more like a cardio exercise, more metabolic, instead of you gaining muscle. But if you're still progressively overloading your muscle, so which means you're challenging your muscle, so stimulating it enough, that means you are still going to cause your muscle to grow, which means you're still going to grow muscle and burn fat. The only reason you are burning fat is if you are eating less or eating in a caloric deficit to what you are burning. Which brings me to the next question. How about cardio, right? So is cardio going to make me more toned? Is cardio going to make me burn fat? So a lot of people believe more cardio means you become leaner. And yes and no, there is some truth to it, but also if you want to sculpt your body and if you want to build muscle, you want to make sure that you're not doing too much cardio. And it really depends on what your specific goal is. So if you are eating in a caloric deficit and you are training 3 to 4 times a week, you should be getting the results that you are after. if your program is designed for what you want to achieve and you're consistently, progressively overloading and you're consistently challenging yourself in your workout routine, then you should be achieving the results that you want. And of course, you make some tweaks along the way when you notice that, something needs to change. And for that, a lot of the time, you need the knowledge or you need a coach to help you with that. So where does cardio fit in here? Cardio is basically just a tool. That's how I look at it. Well, there's two sides to it. Of course, cardio is good for your mental health. It can be good for your heart health. It's good to incorporate some form of cardio. But if you are solely asking if cardio will help you become leaner, then the answer is yes and no. So if you are achieving your results without cardio, so you are losing fat and you're getting more toned, that means you've got the right balance. That means you're eating in a caloric deficit, you're building muscle, and you are maintaining you're achieving the goals that you want to achieve. So there's not really that much of a necessity to add in cardio other than because you enjoy it or because you want to improve your heart health or you just want to challenge your body a little bit more. But if, for example, you don't want to decrease your calories anymore, and I would never advise anybody to go below 1,200 or even 1,300 calories, depending on your height and depending on your weight, right? If you don't want to go any lower, but you still feel like you want to burn more fat, then yes, you can incorporate some cardio into your workout routine. So basically, cardio is just a tool to help you burn slightly more calories, right? So slightly more calories. So what you want to do is you want to add in a little bit of cardio and see how your body responds to that. And then another misconception with cardio is that when we hear the word cardio, we think, and I used to believe this for a very long time, that you need to be running, you need to be doing some intense form of HIIT, you need to be sweating and, exhausted for it to be an effective cardio workout. No, cardio is anything that just burns extra calories. So that means if you are going for a long walk and you're moving your body, so if you're just moving your body by walking, swimming, going for a quick jog, you name it, it doesn't need to be intense for it to be effective. So if you want to increase your cardio to burn some more calories, then I suggest just start increasing your step count and see what that does. See what that does. And that's how you're going to get results. And after that, that doesn't mean you stay with this for the rest of your life, because that's another topic that I'd like to get into in another podcast. There has to be a point at which you've achieved your goal or you're happy with your shape and your goals change or you want to take a different approach. And when this happens, you need to make sure that you start slowly adding in calories or slowly changing your workout routine. And that is something that you do after you've reached your specific goal, because we don't want to be in a caloric deficit and training in a specific way for the rest of our lives, unless, of course, you're happy doing that. We want to make sure that we get you back to, being able to eat more calories while maintaining the body that you're happy with. And that's when we get into reverse dieting, but that's a topic for a different day. Today, I just want to get clear on the one thing that I want to, we all have these questions. I have so many clients come up to me and ask me, yeah, but I want to tone up my stomach. I want to work my core. I want to train my core so that I lose belly fat there and I get a more toned stomach. And unfortunately, you can't specifically choose where you lose fat. That is something that just happens all over, and every body is different. with where they lose fat first and where they gain muscle first. And you identify that while you're training. You start noticing, and you probably know about yourself. Like, I know for a fact that I gain muscle very quickly in my legs and in my arms, but that also means I gain a lot of fat in my legs and in my arms. So it's more difficult. It's like each body is different. So specific to that, that's where you start, changing your workout routine. But I can't say, hey, I am sick of the fat on my stomach, so I'm just going to do ab exercises so that I burn fat there and tone up my abs. That's not how it works, because my body decides where I lose fat first. And then the longer you continue in your journey to achieving your body goals. So for example, in my bodybuilding competition, my legs were the last to go, which means I held on to fat the longest in my legs. So it was the most difficult to lose fat in my legs. That didn't mean that throughout my journey, I didn't lose fat in my legs. It was just the last place for them to go. And that's for every person has that in a different place. So it is 100% achievable for everybody to achieve the physique that they are looking for, their best version of themselves. You just have to consistently keep putting the work in, and you need to make sure that you have the right training regime, the right nutrition for your specific goals. I always say this to my clients: if I were to program you like a robot and tell you exactly what to do to achieve the body goals that you want to achieve, do you think you would be able to achieve them? Obviously, you would be. So it's just a matter of making sure you know what plan to follow, what strength training exercises you want to do specific to your goals, what nutrition adjustments you need to make to achieve those goals, and that you remain consistent with them. And that you don't need to do some crazy, excessive, weird exercises, magical exercises that are going to get you the results that you want. No, it's very simple. It's just strength training regime. And most of the time, it's very basic compound exercises that will get you there with some extras. It's not some crazy workout that you saw online that looks super hard and complex and exhausting that is going to get you what you want to achieve. It's the basics. It's the basics, and sticking to the basics and constantly challenging yourself in those basics. So make sure that you have a good coach, a good strength training regime. Make sure you're making the right adjustments to your nutrition and you're getting enough protein in your diet, and you will start seeing results. And I know it can seem overwhelming because, we all understand that strength training is supposed to get us the results that we want, but where do we begin? And that is exactly why I have my free challenge. I have a free challenge that you can follow today, or you can join on the 26th of August. I was going to say April. It's also with an A. 26th of August, and I will be hosting it live on the 26th of August. And then I will take you through the 5 things that you can start doing today to start transforming your body, to finally start seeing the results that you want. Losing the stubborn fat and toning up the muscles that you want to get toned. And I'm going to simplify it in this challenge because it does not need to be as difficult as you may think. It's become so much more complicated just because of all the misinformation and the confusing information out there. And once you have the tools to finally achieve those goals and finally get the results that you want, that's when you see that it doesn't need to be that difficult. When you feel more empowered through your fitness journey, when you feel that you have control over what your body can achieve, that is when you will start seeing the results that you want, and you will feel like you don't need to go back into the cycle of trying out one diet after the next, trying out one workout after the next. And that is the most freeing thing, and it is 100% possible. So If that's something that you want to do, I'm going to link it in the show notes, and you can join my free 5-day Dream Body Challenge, which I will be hosting live on the 26th of August. And in those 5 days, you will get 5 days of live coaching from me. There will be short sessions, so don't worry if you have a busy life right now, but it's going to help you finally get those results that you've always been looking for. And I'm going to give you the tools that you need, some little bonuses in between, and show you how you can finally start transforming your body. It's a little sneak peek into what I provide in my membership. So if you're ready to finally take control of your body goals and finally have the tools at your fingertips to achieve a toned physique, lose that stubborn fat without making it more complicated than it needs to be, because it really doesn't need to be complicated, then I suggest come join me in the 5-day challenge. Anyways, beauties, thank you so much for listening to another episode of Nuke's Fitness Podcast. If you ever feel like there's a topic you would like me to cover, or you have any questions regarding the topics that I have covered, please make sure to comment below or drop me a message on Instagram. Email me at info@nukesfitness.com, and I would be so happy to answer all your questions or dive deeper into certain topics. Thanks again for listening to Nuke's Fitness Podcast, and I hope to see you next week. If you enjoyed listening to this podcast and you feel like you got a lot of value out of it, it would mean the world to me if you would rate and review the podcast and share it with someone who you feel like would get a lot of value out of it. In the meantime, come hang out with me on my Instagram @ManookFink, or join my free challenge, which will be linked in the show notes. It's academy.nukesfitness.com/join-challenge. If you can't remember that name, check the links in the show notes, and I hope to see you there.